A new era has begun at Liverpool. Jurgen Klopp has taken charge of the mighty Reds. And what happened? We ended up last on Match of the Day in the first week. Sensational. It's an interesting one. I think just from our perspective, it feels like something new's happening, something different. It's great to kind of, I don't know what you guys have been like. I mean, it'd be interesting because Robbie can't even remember what it's like to change managers. It's been that long. But yeah, and you haven't done it that often, to be fair, in recent times. Like, so Ira probably helped me out a bit more on this. But it's a weird one for us having Klopp in instead of Rodgers, and how I feel like I can actually relax a bit more about everything, because when Brendan Rodgers was in, because he didn't come with a track record, it was all done on faith. You know, and he proved himself in some instances. You know, we played some scintillating football at times, but it had to be based on what you saw on the pitch. He had to build his own grace period, and I guess you've probably had that with United to some extent with Moyes. Is that
apart from the football weren't that good.
Well, exactly, but yeah. But I guess Van Gaal coming in after Moyes was probably, and again, I'm not comparing Rodgers to Moyes in any way, shape or form, but just the fact that Van Gaal's come in and you know he's been there and done it, it makes you feel a little bit more relaxed that he actually knows what he's going to do going forward.
Yeah, definitely. Obviously, with Van Gaal, he's obviously won trophies with Barcelona and...
a whole hope.
Yeah, exactly. The list is endless. Isn't it? So you know, he's a man who's got like a proven solid track record at top clubs, and so you was like, you know what? This was the thing with Moyes as well. We were like, well, you know, Moyes he did okay at Everton, but you know, can he really do the step up from there to?
Well, he was a winner. He proved you don't need to win trophies to be a winner, wasn't he? Do you remember that post there? Was that the exact phrasing on it? Yeah, it's in some pub.
Probably a Liverpool fan. That's
Taft's Tavern in Old Swan.
I mean, to be fair, he didn't do too badly in Europe, Moyes. But,
no, he didn't.
You know.
Yeah, but no, I think it's I'm interested to know people's take on the whole fanfare around it. He's bored of hearing about Klopp already.
Bored after about 3 hours.
You did that video for this last week.
It's been a week of it, you know. But I suppose, look, he's a high-profile manager coming in, and you know, he's a manager that is right up some Liverpool fans' street in terms of sound bites.
Well, no, you say sound bites, but it's good to have. I think it's nice to have a guy in charge who is not afraid to speak his mind. You know, what's that face?
I thought you just had one. I thought that's all Brendan. I'd have loved you to get Ancelotti because he doesn't speak. Yeah, so it would have been amazing. No banners with no sound bites on would have been amazing. But in terms of talent, Klopp he's a fantastic manager. Like I've said before, the only kind of thing can he do what he done in Germany over here, where there is arguably more people trying to bite that pie, where as opposed he took over in Dortmund. He was given. I think the big thing for Liverpool is, and I'm not sure whether it'll happen, but if they give him kind of 5 years and go right, grow into that period. But I'm not sure. I remember talking to Chris about this, and he was just like, no one wants to wait that long.
It depends how bad it is. You know,
I don't think it'll be bad, will it? Because Liverpool,
no.
They're always going to be around fighting for that top four. Would have been anyway with Rodgers.
Yeah.
But it's people were already getting nervous with Rodgers, going right. Well, we've had 2 years, we haven't won the league, so it's time to go. And if that happens with Jurgen Klopp,
you know what's interesting to me, because we've just done a couple of videos about Liverpool, the best Liverpool managers, and then what Klopp needs to do to get Liverpool back to the top table. And for me, it's Europe. And what he's got that Brendan Rodgers simply didn't have is that European experience. Definitely. And I mean, look, you can't underestimate the importance of you guys. We have a little bit of a laugh about Arsenal, and the top 4 trophy, blah, blah, blah. But being in that competition every single season, it does more for you in some respects than, look, we all want that Premier League title. We just get the monkey off the back. That would settle so many nerves amongst the Liverpool's fan base. But in terms of what Liverpool are a European club, and we need to get back into that. Like I say, you can't underestimate how important it is to be in those competitions.
I mean, there's been so much hype around Jurgen Klopp, but then again, I can understand it as well, because if I was a Liverpool fan, I would be really excited as well, because he's a different level. No disrespect to Brendan Rodgers, but he's a different level. The first thing that just came across to me when I saw him at that game is he's in charge. It's like he's got that aura. It's a bit like with Van Gaal when he came into it. Moyes didn't look like he was in charge. Looked like he's trying
to
to feel
like,
his way.
Ooh, look, I'm in.
Yeah, you know, he's just kind of overwhelmed by.
This is so much more comfortable. Than
yeah, like he's overwhelmed by the surroundings. Whereas with Van Gaal when he went in at United, it's like, yeah, you know what, been there, done it. I'm in charge. I'm the boss. The same with Klopp, you know, and you could see that first half, that first about half hour of that game. The Liverpool players were responding to it. They were trying to play in a similar way to what Dortmund do, closing down. I am a bit worried about Klopp because I do think that he will get Liverpool playing a lot better. They've already got good players, I feel. I feel that Liverpool were... A lot of times, like, even when they came down to our place and people are like, yeah, we should tear them apart. I'm like, hold on. Look at their team. They do have good players. So
not enough to put in your combined 11. Like,
yeah, not enough to get in my combined 11. But I am worried as an Arsenal fan, and I think all the other top teams should be worried that he can get Liverpool going. You know, and so, you know, this and that's not a bad point away at Spurs because they've been doing all right at home this.
Well, this is the team that smashed City the other week.
Yeah, so you know, that's not a bad start. I mean, EVA is a ball, you know, 0-0, you know, last on match of the day, but that's a decent start and
slipping under the radar. That's what we're doing.
I'll agree.
Well, I know about sleeping under the radar because
everyone's got
what made me
sleep,
laugh is the amount of
Yeah.
press people standing in front of him wanting to take his picture. It was unbelievable. But as I said, you can see that this is a new level now. He's a different type of manager, and he's respected around Europe. So when it comes to like transfers and things like that, and he's making calls to certain players, they will come. It's not going to be like, who are you? Brendan Rodgers. Oh yeah, I heard something about it.
Yeah, telling Steven Gerrard to ring up players who you're trying to buy.
I mean, it was Gerrard who persuaded Suarez to stay at Liverpool and not go to Arsenal.
He rang him.
Yeah, it wasn't Brendan Rodgers. You know? Whereas if it was Klopp, you see in all the time he's been at Dortmund, right? A lot of those players, you know, all right, they have lost some of them, but guys like Royce and Hummels and that have stayed loyal and stayed at the club. So if he can galvanise Liverpool like that, I am a bit worried.
There's people, there'll be footballers who've, you know, we've seen all the hype and all the press and all that, and listen to him in the sound bites and blah blah blah. But there will be footballers and very good footballers out there who are maybe thinking about where do I go next in my career, and they'll be looking and going, I wouldn't mind playing because that happens. I mean, it's a bit of a different example, but it's like Jamie Carragher coming out of international retirement because he fancied being under Fabio Capello and seeing if he could learn a bit from him. Like, you know what I mean?
This is what I said the other day. Obviously, like Klopp, he'll be able to attract those world-class players, or maybe not so much world-class, but you know, a higher level, of players.
You had to have something. You had to have some sort of disclaimer.
Just got to qualify that. Like.
A high level of players that, you know, Brendan Rodgers was bringing in.
Yeah.
You know, we all respected Klopp when he was at Dortmund and everything he'd done there, but.
Yeah.
Obviously, like now he's gone to you. Like, you know, he's dead to me now, Klopp.
He's dead to me.
There you go. And he might be able to get more out of some of the players that are there. I mean, you know, will somebody like Lallana, who's like a pretty skillful player, benefit a lot more from being under Klopp? Will somebody like Benteke? You know, you've seen what he's done.
Well,
with players
the thing is, it's this notion of, because we've already talked about Sturridge, and when we talk about the best players in the league, which sounds funny when I say it like that, but and you talk about his work rate and what have you, the feeling I'm sort of getting is that if he doesn't want to match Klopp's work rate, then he'll go, and that'll be a shame because he's a terrific player. And similarly with like Benteke, I know he spends a lot of money on him, but new guy comes in, he will say, this is how I want football to be played. Like it or lump it, lads, you know what I mean? And we'll move on from it.
Brutal, hasn't he? Essentially, right? You know, right? Okay, right. You're not cutting it. Later.
Yeah, does a big mad laugh in the middle of a sentence, then slaps you across the face. And Jurgen Klopp all over, like great. You'll note if you're watching this show in the playlist order that I've not put Liverpool on last on Social Club. I've put us on second to last. Still to come, we're going to be doing our highlights of the week, so do check that out. If you haven't checked out the rest of the show, we discuss whether Alexis Sanchez is the best player in the league right now. A little bit of fallout from United and Everton and the disasters with combined 11s. Phil Jagielka, or Phil Jagielka, as he likes to call himself, the weirdo. Well, our thoughts on international football and a load more, so check them out. Subscribe to the channel, give the video a thumbs up as well.